Knights Academy. Training's in session.
Alright, last time we left, you guys were just getting out of a trial. Saxon has been acquitted, and Gruck has returned to the mansion, having revealed the fact that he is the one who turned in Saxon.
That was still bullshit, by the way.
What?
That he was acquitted, or that you were forced to reveal yourself?
That he was acquitted.
Oh, okay.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that part is BS. Because, lo and behold, he actually did commit it. But in the eyes of the law, he is now innocent.
I did no such thing.
So. Alright, so Saxon, after the trial, you went and celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
Probably passed out at one of the inns. Or did you make your way home that night?
I made my way home that night.
You'd have to find a boat to get you there.
Okay.
So it would take a little bit to do that, but okay. So you find your way home.
Yeah, well, he killed a council member. I'm sure he can, find a boat.
Somebody's not cynical about this.
Not at all. Not at all. So you make your way back. What would you like to do?
Well, it'll probably be like the next day. I will just continue with repairs of the house, unless there's something major that happens. I'm more waiting for the next night.
Does anything major happen that night, John? Or are you just gonna let the night go?
No, I think that seems reasonable.
Alright. That's bright. Please don't shine that in my eye.
I didn't shine it in your eye, I shined it at you.
Laser.
Still is very bright.
Laser.
I see your saber in the back. Against the wall.
Yeah.
We hit the mark, by the way. The 10,000 views, so
By a lot.
quite a
nice.
bit now. Almost
Congratulations.
doubled it actually since it's happened. It happened just after Christmas, so
Yeah.
I'm sending out the saber tomorrow to the winner.
Nice.
So
It must have turned
Congratulations.
off at some point because the last time I had checked it, it had a ways to go. But that's awesome.
Within like
Yeah.
5 days, it reached over 1,000.
yeah, it went it skyrocketed right around Christmas, and it just kept going. Let's see, where's it at now?
Oh,
Maybe
speaking of
whatever.
Matt,
17,000.
totally
It's
random.
at 17,000. It's over 17,000 views already.
And when I
Nice.
told Matt about it, it had 11,000.
Yeah. So
For what it's worth, Mr. Foss, I already told John. The Darkening of Tristram event is live in D3. And it's basically like a remaster slash reimagining slash homage to Diablo 1.
which part?
The Darkening of Tristram. You go into the old ruins in Act 1, and there's a portal that'll take you to like old Tristram S.
Is it a new thing they just added in there? Because I don't remember this.
Yeah, it's only available for like a month.
Okay.
It's an event, but you run your way through the old cathedral, much like in Diablo 1.
Neat.
Like I haven't played the whole thing.
Uncle John? Yeah, it's Uncle Pink.
Alright.
And that's Uncle John. Right there. Yeah. You wanna say wave? Say hi.
And your kids love the cameras.
No, we are not going to play with the lightsaber right now. I know Mommy was, but Mommy wasn't supposed to be playing with it either. So. Alright.
Did you say hi, Uncle Pink? That's very nice of you to try to say your words.
He's trying hard. Alright. So, then we will go to the next morning. Hey, buddy.
Well, okay. Not the night I was acquitted, but the night after. That's when I have shit up.
Alright, unless somebody has something going on, like, we'll go to that point.
Trying to think quickly. Like, I believe I'm going to be pretty well just kind of sticking, just like really keeping to myself, and probably, I don't know, anything labor intensive that I can do as a physical distraction while I'm just thinking, angrily and not, just without enough direction.
Alright.
Like, that's the basic idea of how the first day is going to go for me.
Makes sense. Alright, so that night then.
Okay. John, Gruck will wake up to like a popping sound, and then my voice, like middle of the night, and then my voice telling him to wake up. And then, since I assume you can see him now, Warwick is there. And I'm just standing in the middle of your room.
I mean, technically you'd be wrong. I can't see Warwick, like OOC.
Okay, well.
Unless you make him invisible. It takes a spell to be able to see the invisibility.
Okay, I didn't know if he had an item or anything. That's why I was saying it.
That's why I was letting you know, OOC. I don't.
Okay.
Alright, so he appears in your room.
Tells you to wake up. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a half-orc.
Everybody in the
I
party
just-
has dark vision, except for Thorn.
Okay.
I suppose I will, like, sit up and look. Probably have a glance at the door. Is my door shut?
Yes.
Can I roll a quick arcane check?
Yes.
Looking for, and some sort of teleportation.
Some sort of thing was used, yes, but you're not sure what.
Somebody had to send out a text.
Chloe, what's wrong? What's wrong, Chloe? Mommy, pay attention.
Yes.
No, I'll probably just make this part of it blatantly obvious.
Ready to go night-night?
It's your
You want to say night-night to Pink, Uncle Pink, Chloe?
does not give a about.
Yeah, I see how it is.
Well, like, you
I
want to say
remember
night-night to him? Night-night! Okay, that's it. You didn't need to come say hi.
Chloe.
Good night,
Who's
Chloe.
Nope. She does not want to come over here right now.
Alright.
She's in a mood.
Let's go on my PJs.
Don't be in a mood.
Hopefully it'll pass quickly, and in time for bed.
Nice shirt.
Yeah, 'cause I don't care which kid. I just need a kid.
What's that?
That's
Nice shirt.
Thank you.
that is true. That is.
One of the Loot Crate specials. I actually sent a pretty mean letter to Loot Crate today. Apparently, now the December crate is coming in January. Every month they've been pushing my date that I get the box back further and further, and now it's not even coming in the month it's supposed to come in. So I'm like, what's this horse shit?
Ooh, hiss.
So, not only am I not getting it in the month I'm supposed to, I'm not even getting it in the year I'm supposed to. I didn't put that in there because I thought that would be too complicated.
But it would be
I mean-
funny.
Applicable
Huh?
in this particular circumstance.
Come here. Okay, you okay?
As I make eye contact, I'll actually make that point obvious. Is the imp here?
Come here.
He'll pop out.
No, come here.
Warwick, Gruck, Warwick.
Please.
Warwick just kind of nods and just staring at you.
Calm down.
I take it you wish to have a discussion, or shall I grab my axe?
I'll look at the chair and do you mind?
Go ahead.
Mommy.
I'm curious about something. How do you imagine this ends?
One of two ways. Peacefully or bloody.
Hang on. Just waiting a second.
For what it's worth, I probably should make the note that while my axe is within, like arm's reach, probably my shield too, I am not in armor, because why would I sleep in armor in my room?
Also,
For the sake of argument.
you're an astute enough observer. My body language is in no way threatening.
I mean, if it was, I would already have my axe.
Right. But like, for what it's worth, any intelligent individual would be able to tell I'm here to talk, nothing more. If it comes to blows, you're gonna have to make the first move.
Well, it's not entirely ruled out.
Like, I'm aware of that. And roll an insight check. Because I want to make sure Gruck's aware of something. Because I did this with a specific reason. Okay.
I failed. You were here to kill me.
This is for something else, but okay.
Oh, well, never mind then.
I am making it very easy for you to kill me now and claim it as self-defense. Because I I misty stepped into your room. I didn't come through the door. So it could easily look like I was attempting an assassination. And I have motive to do it.
Ish.
But
I mean, it might be a grudge, but like motive is
Right.
fairly thin, being you were acquitted.
so that Gruck is aware, Saxon came into the room the way he did because he's leaving you that option purposefully. Okay. Let us assume for a moment that I am the monster you seem to believe that I am.
You are
For the
right to
record,
do so.
Kayla, I am far worse. Yes.
Yeah, they heard that. They heard you say that you believe it.
It's a really good
I
movie
know.
out there, Matt.
Although I can't help but say though. Well, again, never mind.
You, as a member of this party, seem to believe the worst in me. And made what could reasonably be deduced as an attempt to sell me out. What's to stop me then, assuming I am this monster, from killing you in your sleep and having done with the problem?
Aside from it being, you know, another potential murder to cover up, and the fact that you would potentially have more to gain by convincing me otherwise, not killing me.
If you're hell bent on the idea that I'm a cold-blooded evil killer, what could I possibly have to gain?
If I was so inclined as to believe beyond the shadow of a doubt that you were guilty, we would not be having a discussion, period. I do not have definitive proof of your guilt. I believe that you were more than capable. I believe you had opportunity. And I wouldn't be surprised if you had motive. The fact that none of that was proven, I think it makes it fairly interesting to note as well that while your guilt may not have been proven, your innocence surely wasn't either, as evidenced by Violet's display at the end of it.
Care to elaborate on that last sentiment?
Violet's testimony was a farce, and so was the cleric's. Yeah, I can tell that. Even with my thoughts and beliefs as to what you are capable of, and the fact that I consider that you may have been guilty of committing this crime, in no way, shape, or form would you be stupid enough to have events play out the way that you testified them to play out as. Which means that she blatantly lied under a zone of truth, which then also means that the cleric who put the zone of truth up also blatantly lied. And with two people blatantly lying under a zone of truth, then it makes it rather difficult for me to be able to believe when you said that you didn't kill him under a zone of truth. And because I also am aware of zone of truth and how it works, it's not beyond the realm of possibility of being able to get around it.
So it's clear to you that a group of people were doing everything within their power to pin this crime on me. I stated under no uncertain terms that I didn't do it. We've fought together. We've lived together. I have made overtures towards building a semblance of trust, and you're still inclined to believe I did it?
Again, if I believed beyond the shadow of a doubt that you did it, we would not be having a discussion. I believe you're capable.
I believe you're capable.
I mean,
Hi there.
given the
What does
circumstances,
what
I'm
does
pretty sure that I don't
ability have
the
to do with guilt?
particular skill set to make it out. Well, how about let's put this a different way. The night in question, after it became blatantly obvious to me that Zerat was the one standing beside me and not yourself, I asked you what you were doing. You told me you wanted the night off. While I don't entirely doubt it, I also know that that's not entirely it. What were you doing? Where were you? Specifically. You
I
want
did the
you
exact
want me
same
to
thing.
you want me to believe you wholeheartedly 100%. Tell me exactly what you were doing. Where you were.
I was at a bar. I don't remember. Like, Pink himself doesn't honestly remember the name of the bar.
From time A to time B. That's where you were.
Several weeks
Again,
ago, I
time A
can't.
and time B, is the time frame with which the killings occurred.
I was walking around town for part of it, I believe, and I know I spent a huge chunk of the night at the bar. I can't honestly tell you the moment I stepped foot in there. The local bartender, if he remembers, might be able to. I did not, however, look like Saxon. And then I will change into the character that I was when I was at the bar, Matt.
And you were at the bar in this form during this time, with the exception of maybe some walking around.
Yeah.
Do you have an issue with me doing anything and everything I can in order to verify that?
Talk to the investigator. I believe he's already done the vast majority of it for you. If you want to go independently,
How much did you have a lot to drink that night?
no. You have to, and again, I look like Saxon now. You have to realize what I'm trying to do in this town. And
Be sure and stir it up. There's a bunch of jalapenos just sitting on the bottom.
okay,
All
thank
right.
you. I'm That's fine. I'm clearly intending to develop a certain name for myself as a friend of the people. And as I assume you've noticed in the past, it's difficult for me to be alone in a public place. That's what I was doing.
Being alone in a public place.
Being able to sit down at a bar, like in the old days, have a couple of drinks, and leave myself to my thoughts without
not
having a conversation with various peoples. And occasionally, for my sanity, I'm going to need to have a night off. Zerat agreed to continue the ruse at the time because we believed you guys were just going out to have dinner.
Now I can understand that, and I don't argue with the need for that isolation at times. But what I find interesting is that even though it was some time ago now, I find it hard to believe that a man of your intelligence doesn't have an accurate recollection of the evening to be able to give me specifics. Because I give you a lot of credit. I can tell you what I was doing that day.
You were in the midst of a battle. Of course you can.
I can tell you what I did that night. I could be relatively close to tell you when I got home that night. I don't consider myself to be smarter than you. Now, granted, that is subjective, but when you consider the general secretive nature that you have about you, don't talk about what your plans are. You don't bring people in to let them know what's going on, which is your prerogative. But then you have that secret nature, and you do give a lot of non-specific answers to questions. It opens up the possibility for something like this, for me to be in the position that I'm in, where, again, no offense, it's a difference of opinion, difference of belief, but I believe I have a fairly firm grasp of what you are capable of from a moral standpoint.
That's the reason you have a different
I
opinion.
believe that you don't.
It's not just an opinion. You have a different.
How am I wrong?
We have to voluntarily sit down so we can continue to do our jobs unhindered.
You keep going back, at least during the trial. You kept going back to a conversation the two of us had about the ends justifying.
Agent Hodgson's investigation.
And my point, when I was saying I can't give you a firm line, is that, and I'm, John, you'll have to help me out here. I believe I tried to make the point that sometimes the line changes. And so then the ends also, or then the means also change. At this particular moment, killing a council member justifies doing nothing. Like, I still fail to see how that would help. Yes, I was brutal with the dude on the boat, but that was specifically designed for a clear end. And as soon as that end was met, all the brutality stopped. And that's the only time I've ever shown myself to be that brutal.
To my
leap
knowledge,
that you have
yes.
to make.
Well, let me, what that makes me consider is, on one hand, yes, what you've said is true. But on the other hand, the reason we had an altercation on the ship was because you refused to tell me what you were planning.
In front of somebody else.
Okay, but still, you didn't want to give away what you were planning.
Yes.
So
And
even though it was a very specific thing for you, it was a very non-specific thing for anybody else. Just because, and again, it's purely speculation, but just because I don't have a perfectly narrowed down and proven idea of what you would possibly gain from killing a council member, I don't have definitive proof that you did it. But just because I'm not aware of whatever that plan might be doesn't mean that there isn't one. Because you've already shown that you wouldn't, granted, in this kind of sense, you wouldn't have told me anyway. But it doesn't rule it out. Obviously, I don't have proof. Otherwise, we would have already spilled blood.
point that I'm trying to make here is once the question of what I was trying to do was made known to you, you were at the very least acquiesced to my decision. And the leap that you have to make from my being able to interrogate an enemy to cold-blooded killing somebody for no apparent reason.
There's a number of reasons that would potentially fit. One, if you befriended those sailors, then the council member being solely responsible for holding up the trial is motivation to eliminate him in order to make things happen.
Off the record, Matt, is there evidence to show that he was solely responsible for it?
I thought that was the general consensus because they were like lovers and he was the one stalling the trial. Okay, so a bit on the speculative side, but not without reason.
Okay.
The potential for a council member of Seaport that has been murdered, and a person that would be presumed responsible released from jail, obviously that group would now be considered responsible for, the murder in releasing their associate. It's not, it's not that far-fetched to think that we would be asked to go after them or at some point end up going after them because of the things that we've already done for Seaport, in which case, as you said before, the severity of a crime would justify the severity of the punishment. That's pretty severe punishment for killing a council member of Seaport. Basically, that you would be able to do what you wanted without a whole lot of hindrance. Now, again, purely speculation.
What is it you assume I want?
To make a display of Violet and anybody that she works with, the same way you did the night. That's a very good way to justify being able to make a proper display of them, is by pinning the killing of a council member on them. And by releasing Isaac, hypothetically, the murder of the council member and the guards is pinned squarely on the shoulders of that gang. Now, theoretically, maybe they came in and did it themselves. Again, no proof, otherwise we wouldn't be having this discussion.
Doesn't that make more sense than the idea that I snuck into his house, waded through a giant battle, assassinated somebody, went and hid, I guess, or ran away, whatever, and let Violet and them go? Couldn't I have established myself as a hero if I had simply killed Violet then and there?
Based on that accounting, if you were there and the number of them that you were suggesting, then you would have been outmatched to the point where you, no offense, wouldn't have been able to. And I don't doubt that your self-preservation would certainly kick in above your desire to, try to be the hero. I mean, mine would in that scenario. Can't do much good when you're dead. And back on your earlier point of the severity of the punishment changes based on the severity of the crime. Well, theoretically speaking, it can be said that for the greater good, in order to make the entire population of the world live together in perfect harmony and cohesion, that it is worth it, that the ends would justify the means to kill 49% of the world's population. You have a higher percentage of people that are now living in harmony and unison. That doesn't make it right to kill 49% of the population. So the idea of the ends justify the means no matter what, based on the severity of the crime, is, in my opinion, not a valid argument.
That's not my argument. That has never been my argument.
You said the severity of the punishment was dependent on the severity of the crime. That is the exact extension of that argument.
No.
Now,
the argument is that there is no line that I can draw definitively. That's what you were asking me for. I cannot draw that line. That does not mean that at no point does something just become obnoxious.
Then
That means that I can't say that the ends justifying the means is me torturing somebody, because there are more examples than there are not where that is completely unjustified.
and again, this is a argument of semantics, but in my personal opinion, it really makes me question what you're willing and prepared to do because of that. Because the basis of it is entirely subjective, to what you think at the time. And I find that dangerous. Like, maybe your intentions right now, as you're saying it, aren't bad, but to not have any sort of definitive line means it's open to get bad.
Isn't then holding a hard line just as dangerous? Isn't dealing in absolutes far more dangerous than in realizing that
It doesn't
there
necessarily
are
have to be an
people-
absolute in order to specifically acknowledge a particular point. I mean, it's like when we came in here to clean this place out. Now, all I cared about was making sure that anybody that was here had the ability to leave before we came in. We gave them ample time. May not have been the best way of going about it. Ain't gonna argue with the way it turned out. But either way, it's better than just charging in and, hey, you're here, leave now or die.
At what point did I argue that sentiment? When you said I want to make sure they have the ability, I said that's fine as long as it doesn't put our lives in danger. I agreed with you. The point that I'm trying to make, coming in here right now, is that I am not the evil person you think I am. And I'm trying to prove it to you. I'm trying to give you that olive branch to say that if I was that heinous monster, the amount of viciousness that would be coming out of me would be far more than what I have shown.
See, subtle evil and over the top blatant evil are two very different things. Like, what's one of the reasons why anybody would be able to say that I am not an evil person? I am blatantly clear about my intentions on things. Now, at least I feel like I have been. Maybe I'm wrong. You are specifically unclear about your intentions of things. That makes it very cloudy. And it, quite frankly, if nothing else, it leaves a lot up to my own imagination. Which, based on our conversations and based on the actions that I have seen you take, my imagination can do quite a bit because I've been there. I've done that. I will never do it again. Well, yeah, not that stuff anyway. Because I can't say that I'm never going to kill again, because that's entirely dependent on circumstance. But the other stuff I won't do.
Boom. There's my point.
Yeah, well, my
give
my
you an
circumstance-
absolute because circumstances change.
Yeah, well, my
That's why I
circumstance
don't
is if
deal in
somebody
absolute.
attacks me, then I will defend myself and I will take their life if they, force me to do so. Now, that's still pretty specific, even for something that is non-specific. If you attack me now, I will defend myself to the death. If you attack me now and we start fighting and I gain the upper hand and you surrender yourself, I would stop. I would not kill you.
Oh, I find that very hard to believe. That's OOC.
Yeah. I mean, technically, it would probably, just based on the character, it would depend on how the fight went to be, perfectly clear OOC. It would depend on how close to death Garuk actually was. Yeah, because then it's for two reasons. One, yeah, he's just really close to death, so he's not thinking clearly. And two, he doesn't trust you, and he's not going to drop his guard. He's just going to be safe and finish you off. But that's, just is what it is. OOC. Where were we?
You were talking about the potential of combat.
Oh, well, I think I pretty much finished. Oh, and also, I suppose I should, um, at the very least, for the sake of argument, point out that the reason that I'm asking you to give me a specific and detailed account of your whereabouts on the evening in question is because it is possible to specifically verify that, and I intend to do so.
Where? Once you have verified that I'm telling you the truth,
Well, that's also why I'm asking you to be a bit more specific with your account of where you were that evening. Because you've given me I went to the bar, and again, by OOC, the bar, it's whichever one you went to, because I don't know,
Yeah,
you don't remember, which is fine. But you've given me, you went to the bar, and then you kind of went and walked around. Well, kind of went and walked around where? You're smart, man. You can remember.
the exact path? No. And to be fair, that's not. Like, yeah, this is going to be an OOC statement. Have you ever just gone for a walk?
Yeah, I know where I went. Like the last
Put your
time I
head
went
down
for
and-
the last time I went for a good walk because a particular person had my head fucking swimming that you know very well about. I walked down, west out of town, all the way around the corner to that turn off into the like tiny little suburb area, turned around, walked back into town to the main intersection, and went north until I hit the edge of town, and then came back and walked home. And that was years ago. Like I'm just saying, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
like
see, every time I do it, I
throwing it
couldn't.
out there, but I'm like
Every-
that's pretty damn specific.
Every single time I have gone for a walk, I could not even remotely begin to tell you the path taken. Like, genuinely. Put my head down, lose myself in my thoughts. I cannot even begin to tell you the paths that I take.
Well, on the off chance, and I guess technically speaking, OOC, I'm flat asking, are you lying? Because if so, I'm going to roll an insight on your deception.
What? Saxon?
Yeah.
Lying about what?
Like, I'm asking for like OOC, I'm asking for a very specific account of his whereabouts. I believe the part about the bar. What I don't believe is the part about the walking around, because I have a hunch that the part about the walking around is going to fit the timeline of when the actual killing took place, to which then I no longer have an accurate account of the whereabouts. Now, the fact that I'm trying to get an accurate account of the whereabouts out of him, and he is going through this like I just went for a walk. I couldn't tell you where I went. Like that part, is that like a lie that is intended to hide something?
No, it's not. Do you want to roll an insight check?
Well, I mean, if technically speaking he's not lying, then there's not a whole lot of point to it. Yeah. Because if it's not a lie in general, then we just bypass the roll itself, because then it doesn't matter. If it's not a lie, it's not a lie. I mean, technically, I could go ahead and roll an insight on it, but then all that would be happening would be the potential for me to roll the insight and have it like run low. In which case, then I automatically believe that he's lying,
Even if he's not.
Roll a 1. Matt, is it good enough?
It's got like a 10. Like my only chance of catching him in a lie is if he rolls shit and I roll a 19 or 20.
Agent Hotchkiss volunteered to get answers before he lost consciousness. Why didn't you believe him? It isn't necessary. Did he tell you that?
Your passive DC on it is 20.
Is that what you're looking for? A way to blame this on him? What good could
Okay.
that possibly do? Agent Hotchkiss was
Roll to 13. I'll let you judge on how to do that.
That isn't true. He was desperate. And he didn't want someone with a
You believe him.
Is there a question in there somewhere?
Saxon does not appear at all to be lying. Now, the specifics that I can give you are what I did after you sent me the message. Because that's a high stress situation, so I remember that. At which point I will give him specifics. Like Andrew Pink, do not remember exactly what I did, but once you sent Saxon the message,
Where? He's still local? Send it forward to my phone. Why isn't he
See, now OOC, the first thing that pops into my head is that even with those specifics in mind, I still have an accurate account before the time frame that I'm looking to have an accurate account of. And even if I believe Saxon that he's not lying to me about not remembering like where he went and the path that he took and all that for his walkabout, it's still very convenient that I can get an accurate account of his whereabouts with the exception of that window. Like, it's just interesting. Now, granted, as a free man who has been acquitted of the charges, it is not on him to prove his innocence. But I just find it interesting that somebody who is attempting to prove to me or convince me that I'm at fault is still unable to give me an accurate account of his whereabouts during the time in question.
I think effectively you are misjudging exactly what Saxon's trying to do here. Saxon is in no way, well, backhandedly saying, I'm innocent. But really what he's doing while he's sitting in that chair is accusing you of turning your back on the party. That I have shown myself time and time and time again to be loyal to a fault to this party. To you, to Vol, to Thorn, to Tim. Keep thinking Menakim, but that's not right.
Yananoli.
Yananoli. I don't know why Menakim keeps popping into my head.
And
No, I
you
don't.
enjoyed killing the last character that you were able to kill. Just saying.
Able to?
You were allowed to and given a knife and
As far as we currently know of.
And over the past couple of days, you have shown yourself for all the horrible things you seem to think I have done.
We can't go.
Again,
it's important.
you keep putting words in my mouth. I said
you've spent the
that I
last
believe
week
you're
putting
capable
words
of.
in mine. I think you should hold a mirror up to yourself.
I know exactly the things that I've done and the things that I'm capable of. That is one of the things that I base my system of morals on, which I think would do you well to adopt some of. the fact that I am aware of my past is what keeps me doing the proper things that I have been doing for some time now, as opposed to what I would be doing otherwise. Had I not had that little bit of growth, one of two things would have happened. I would either be, hypothetically, if you were in fact guilty, even though you've been proven not to be, I either would have tried to join in on that fun, or I would have simply tried to kill you instead of talk to you. I am aware of who I am, what I've done, where I've been. I want to make that very clear.
Where we love is home. Home that our feet may lead.
How do we stage this? The last thing, okay, he's gonna get up, walk towards the door, put his hand on it, kind of crack it a little bit, has his back to you as he says this. I'm not referring to the distant past. You assume that I'm a cold-blooded killer. You've proven yourself to betray your party. And I'll walk out the door.
Melissa Johnson and Franklin both trapped in the neighborhoods. Yet there was nothing missing from either home. What did these women do for a living?
Bethany was a defense attorney and Melissa a corporate executive. Two brunettes with similar features and high-powered professionals.
These women. And if you stay on pattern, you'll start to disguise victims to. We should check gardeners, housekeeping staff, attendants, floral shops.
I only caught like half of that.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Like you're breaking up a little bit, and then I've got extra coming in over top of you at the same time.
For Pink, yeah, somebody's watching TV or something on this side. Yeah, so Warwick just looks back and forth a bit and goes, "You're gonna have to make a decision. Are you guys a party or not? You're gonna be able to look past this. He's been proven innocent. Do your investigations, but you gotta decide. Are you moving forward or not? It's your choice." And looks right at you, Gruck, points, and then just casually walks out the door. Actually, it's not really walking, it's more like strutting.
So this makes me extremely curious. What do I know about imps?
Give me a knowledge religion check.
Hey, Matt. Soon as Warwick walks out the door, he's gonna go invisible again.
Oh, god damn it. Fucking 2?
His first two victims may be from the same city.
I guess specifically, if it helps, the one thing that I am most curious about is whether or not he is an extension of Saxon, or if he is, what's the right word? Autonomous?
You know, he is autonomous. That is plenty good enough for that.
So the dog.
Be like a manservant, I guess would be the best way to put it. Works for Saxon.
The other crime scene.
He absolutely doesn't even have to obey Saxon's orders. And being a devil, kind of, or is he? Yeah, no, he's devil. Being a devil, he frequently chooses not to do things that either.
Well, as soon as he gets done talking, before he has the opportunity to like turn and walk out, I want to look at him and say, "So tell me, Warwick, why were you there?"
So he knew when she laid that out watching. He stopped.
Then he will walk out with the stride.
See, now can I roll an insight on that?
Yeah.
Come on.
It is
Dave.
100% true.
Okay. Oh, now I roll high. God damn.
Also,
He looked
yeah.
at you and said that with the balls, honesty, truth. You are convinced. However,
Damn.
with a 20, it may only be 90% of the truth.
I have admitted on under oath that I told him to be there.
I'll walk over and shut the door because I'm guessing Warwick wouldn't do it.
Nope.
I didn't figure he would.
Not even remotely.
I'm gonna
Down the hallway, even if he's invisible. Going with
I'm
this.
gonna shut the door. I'm gonna walk back over to my bed. I'm gonna grab a strap of leather. I'm gonna sharpen the blade of my axe. Now you can take that any way you want to. It's just something to do while he's thinking.
Totally fair.
Might even cut himself a little just because you gotta put a little blood on the blade while you're working it. You can't just sharpen it dry.
That sounds very orcish.
It is.
I was gonna say sexual, but yes, orcish works. I will wake up early, go downstairs, and do my best to prepare breakfast for the party.
I will wake up and go take a piss. Be right back.
I think he's actually going to go take a piss.
Yeah, no, fairly certain. Like I have never made myself sound like a cook. So imagine a 10-year-old trying to cook Father's Day breakfast is kind of how I'm assuming this will work.
It's going to be messy.
Do you want a perform check?
Let's see. I want a. Let's go with an intelligence check. Actually, outside of being extremely messy, turns out really good.
Okay.
Well, in the morning I can tell you that I'm gonna head into Seaport. And there's a decent chance that I will be there for the duration of the day.
Are you having breakfast?
Sure.
There's a very nice spread of breakfast out. Looks delicious, smells delicious.
The kitchen's a disaster.
Yeah, the kitchen looks like a tornado went through there or Warwick.
Well, I was gonna say, fortunately, either your imp can clean it up, or shit, what's her name?
Yeah, I was kidding.
Oh,
It has been made
it's
pretty
like
fucking obvious that Saxon considers was Ambrosia,
Yeah, damn it.
and Ambrosia's a servant.
I mean, I don't consider her an outright servant, but I mean, maybe I'll help and I'll do like some of it, especially being you made breakfast, but I'm not going to take the time to do it all because I want to get into Seaport. Other than that, when I get back either tonight or tomorrow morning, if you would like to discuss an objective that we can work on, if you would like to, then we can proceed with something. Because unless we're going to just flat split up and, decide, well, OOC, get divorced, it's the only wording I know how to put it, then we're just going to, basically have to deal with it and get over it. So, whether I believe you're capable or not, I have absolutely no proof. So it basically does absolutely nothing. Best case scenario for me, the only thing I can say is I don't know, I'm going to be paying attention, which is nothing that you wouldn't have already assumed about me anyway. So,
And
it
for
really
what
makes no
it's
difference.
worth, your character is probably intelligent enough to know that I'm keeping an eye on you as well.
which again is like I knew that from day one because that's why you gave me the earring in the first place. You know.
No, I mean like, well, far more so. The chances of you being able to spit without me finding out about it are slim. Take that however you want. Like,
I mean,
your character, like, Saxon isn't saying this.
I mean,
your
yeah.
character's probably just smart enough to figure it out.
I mean, OOC, I have blatantly accused you of committing a murder and basically reinforced my position in our discussion the night before. I mean, obviously, I consider Saxon to be suspect. And OOC, because I'm right, obviously Saxon's probably going to pay attention to me. That's a fairly logical conclusion, I would say.
No,
If anything, huh?
You're not right.
OOC, yes, I am.
Saxon is 100% innocent.
I mean, then you shouldn't have admitted to the contrary numerous times.
Well, according to the law, Saxon's innocent.
That's why I said OOC, motherfucker.
Like, repeatedly, in fact.
Shit. I am an upstanding citizen, a pillar of this community.
Well, I guess if nothing else, technically speaking, unless things change drastically, what is Saxon's, plan? Like when I get back to the estate.
Well, if we're discussing what we're going to do here, what we're going to do, Saxon personally would like to stay in town. Or at the very least be accessible by the town.
Well, that is interesting.
Why? Like, is that in character?
Well, it definitely limits the possibilities. Like, I'm just like going down the list. There isn't a whole lot.
I mean, technically, we could like start trying to put forth the because the Mystic Sanctum wants to have a guild hall inside our estate run by Ambrosia. I know I briefly mentioned it a while ago, but it was a while ago. And as part of that, she would become a master rank in the guild, and she would run a hall based in our estate. And as a result, then they would send people to our estate daily to cast teleport in order to create a teleportation circle inside our estate wherever we would basically want it, which the logical placement would be in either Ambrosia's library or, well, no, realistically, the library would probably be the most logical place to put it, just because it's, there because of the guild hall. Why put it anywhere else? But then we would have access to that teleportation circle basically anytime. But it takes a year for that to develop by casting teleport there. But we could definitely try to get that in motion, and then as a result, there might be some quests that they would want us to work on as a result of that.
We could also, that's fine. We could also work on building up our business, assuming, of course, you've decided to take me at my word.
Well, yeah, again, technically speaking, that is, I guess, slightly subject because it depends on whether or not anything happens when I'm in Seaport. Technically.
Yeah, I was going to say, the business thing is, right now the only thing keeping you guys from working on that more, really, is lack of capital. And adventuring is the best way to build up capital.
Like, okay, the reason, number one, that Saxon wants to stay at the very least close to town is he's just been acquitted of murder. Going on a 3-month vacation isn't going to look good. And he has to play a PR game. Taking a day or two to go somewhere and come back isn't an issue. But whatever quest it is, or whatever it is we're doing, I do not want to be away from Seaport for more than a couple of days. And he will probably say this a lot more eloquently than I am right now. But Saxon's got some PR to do. And he can't do that if he's not keen.
I mean, that's understandable given the circumstances.
Well, there is a couple tier 2 quests here in town. So
Tier
you guys have been
2
doing tier 1 quests. And there's plenty of those, hundreds of those. But tier 2 quests are harder. There's only one tier 3 quest, but you guys are nowhere near that in town. Well, not in town, but on the message board in town. So.
Like, that's... And again, he's not going to be hiding why... Like, that is the reason he will give for saying, I want to stay close to home.
If I asked before, Matt, I don't remember now. Is there a teleportation circle in the Guild Hall of the Mystic Sanctum in Seaport?
Yes, there is.
With me being a novice rank, how much does it cost to access that and any other teleportation circle?
$500,000.
$60 billion.
$5.
It works out to be 75 gold a person, and you can go anywhere in the world instantly that way. When you hit Mystic, it'll be only 50 gold.
Okay. I wanted to make that note so I don't forget it. I guess other than that, is there anything you need from Seaport then?
Saxon, or do you want to go to Seaport?
Matt, how's the house coming along?
How's the what's coming?
The house. I know we were still doing some work on it before we got arrested.
You're getting close to finishing all the basic cleaning and everything's done. Right now, it's mostly just finding stones that you guys use to clean up and patching walls. Is really what the stage you're on right now. Pretty soon, you guys are going to need to be dropping capital into it to fix doors and stuff like that.
Can we assume, since Thorn and Vol are not here, that they're going to be doing the work?
Yes, they are. That's a very, very simple assumption.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come into Seaport.
Save his spell.
Ah, okay.
Oh, also, for what it's worth, I haven't gone through them yet. But
Oh, you got a
My
minute?
my collection has expanded now.
Feels nice, doesn't it?
It kind
Does that
of
mean
does,
I can
but
have my player's handbook back?
no, because I distinctly remember there being some sort of trade involved. It is mine. It wasn't
okay.
borrowed.
Oh, I thought I gave it
It-
to you. Never mind.
Like I remember there being something. It wasn't a borrow. I know that. Although, being
Okay.
you decided to bring it up, what'd you find out about Game of Thrones season 6 DVD set?
It's upstairs in my room. You just text me before I come to work on Saturday and remind me, and I'll bring it.
So, in order
I'm not
for
going
you
to
to
put it-
remember to bring it to me, I have to remember
I
to
will
remind you to
attempt
bring it.
to
Like,
remember
how does
to
that
bring
make
it to
sense?
you. I will attempt to remember to bring it to you, sir. The point is, given the current weather, I'm not putting a Blu-ray set in my car. I don't want to ruin the discs.
That I just hear a lot of mumbo jumbo trying to excuse you of like not remembering, somehow making it out that I have to remind you to remember. Like that. That's all I hear. That's all I hear.
Whatever.
Like I don't want to risk damaging it, so I'm not going to leave it in my car. Just give me a reminder. Just give me a reminder.
I'm moving on from this conversation.
I mean, good.
Do you and Matt have anything you need to do in town, or am I good?
I intend for there to be, but we can, I mean, obviously break it up, and I don't know what Matt's time constraints are, but I can also get to him sometime later on, whatever that would be.
I do not have as many time constraints. I just got to keep an ear out for the kiddo right now. So.
And even if it ended up not being tonight, too, like I can be available. It's no longer the holiday, so the schedule is a little more open then.
That helps.
Because I have some intelligence gathering I would like to do in Seaport.
Okay.
The trying to, I don't know, I guess it wouldn't really make a whole hell of a lot of difference. Basically, at some point before I get into doing too much of anything in Seaport, I'm gonna like probably head into like the Mystic Sanctum or something and talk to them about getting that process going, because you seem to approve of it when I mentioned it over breakfast. But while I'm there, I'm going to like excuse myself to go to the restroom or something, and I'm going to activate a scroll of see invisibility.
Warwick is not with me.
Well, I guess specifically I was checking to see whether or not you had him following me, but both technically works. That's all I wanted to make a mention of.
No, that's fine. I'm telling, like, outright, Warwick is not there.
Okay.
Also, Matt,
Yeah.
Warwick's plan for the day. He will note that in my bedroom, I require a bed and like a chest in which to put my clothes.
All right.
And, basically the bare essentials.
Okay.
He is welcome to do whatever else he wishes, so long as I have access to the bare essentials. He can decorate the room, add things, make himself at home.
Okay.
He has complete free reign with those constraints. And no actual murdered corpses. Let's just go with no corpses for now, because we have to play the PR game.
Okay.
Like try to keep it legal.
This one here. I know. Look, dude, it's a for now thing. You understand the position we're in, yes?
Yes.
So let's not exacerbate it at the moment.
Okay. Only a little.
Yeah, right. Like I'm giving you free reign with like that slight tweak. Just please don't get me put in jail. People can look sideways at me all they want to. I don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too thrilled about that. He'll try. He'll try.
And you will note that I have, when he gets these constraints, as long as they're followed as we progress, they get lifted.
Yeah, it's never enough for him.
I know. Dude, I'm with you. I wish we could just paint the wall in people we've murdered. But I'm not powerful enough to just not go to jail. Yet. Once we're there, I will build you a throne of skulls.
He's gonna have fun working on something that he's allowed to do. Legal in this realm.
Like, again, I don't care. People can hate me for it. But as long as I can't get in trouble for it, don't care. Do what you want. Okay.
Did you just load up FTL?
John?
Me? No.
Oh, I thought I heard FTL there in the background.
No, not for me. Although I think that is probably what I'm planning on later. But that's going to be sometime.
I have got to the third stage like 6 times.
Okay.
Now. It's just becoming increasingly frustrating.
I love that game. And I especially love it because of just the vast number of just like subtle like strategy and whatnot that can go into it. And I love that. Fantastic game.
I've been trying to convince my brother that we need to stop playing games on the console and get him a PC because, well, consoles suck.
Just buy him the PC.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of one thought that I already had going, but but right now I don't know if it'd do any good. Like I don't even like subscribe to the whole idea of Master Race. It's just consoles are just crap now. Like the games that are coming out for them, the developers are crap. The consoles themselves, they don't make it so that everything works like very well. And granted, the same kind of thing happens on PC, but on PC, I can just type in my problem, hit enter, and I will find a solution, and then it will be taken care of for the foreseeable future. With my Xbox, every time I turn the thing on, I have to sign out of my profile and then sign back into my profile. Otherwise, the headset doesn't work in party chat. It'll still work in game sound, just not party chat, unless I sign out and then sign back in. It's a stupid thing, but why? Why does it exist? There's no reason for that. And there's nothing I can do to change it.
You
All I can do
is say that you want to be part of the Master Race, but
no, but basically I am, yeah.
you are. You
But
sound
it's because of the stuff like that. I mean, like even now on first person shooters, I prefer the joysticks. It's what I grew up with. I'm comfortable with it. There are very
Get a
few
Steam
games
controller.
I was gonna say,
where
get a Steam controller,
yeah.
or even an Xbox controller plugs into a PC.
Yeah, actually, I do have one that I do connect into my PC, but I only ever use it when I'm playing Binding of Isaac because the X button doesn't work on that controller. That's why I had to get a new one. But yeah, I mean that's really about it. But everything else is just better on PC. I mean, it just is. Like it might not have access to some of the games, but it does the vast majority of them. And then it's got some that are only on PC. And quite frankly, the ones that I play on PC that I've played on console, it's just so much fucking better on PC. Like 7 Days to Die, it's a first-person shooter game, which ordinarily I prefer on console, but nope, not this one. It is so much better on PC. It's ridiculous. Diablo, I played it on console. It's crap. I mean, no offense to people that like it on console, but no, PC is the way to go.
I mean offense to people that like it on console.
Hey,
It's crap.
like
No, look,
I
somebody like
five
Roger who only can play it on console. All right, fine.
I mean-
like I'd rather you play the game than not play the game.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
if
it'll
you
do, but
play it
it's
on PC, like
That makes sense.
play it on PC.
yeah. The fact is, the Xbox Live and Sony's PlayStation Plus, they finally started doing what Steam has been doing for years, which is, having their marketplace of being able to buy cheap games. And then even then, you still run into the issue of backwards compatibility still doesn't happen on the frickin' Xboxes. Like the Xbox 360, technically the one that I do still have, that the laser reader went out on it ages ago. But the only way that I can play NCAA football 2014 is I have to have that Xbox 360 connected because I cannot play it on my Xbox One. It is simply not backwards compatible. But it's also interesting to note that before I bought this Xbox 360, I had a different one, the original design when it first came out. And because they redesigned everything and removed those originals off the shelves, unless I wanted to either buy it online or travel to get it, I had to buy the new one. By having to buy the new one, I had to have a new hard drive because they redesigned that too. I basically had to buy everything brand new because my 360 took a crap on me, which then means that I had to buy a flash drive in order to transfer all of the data from one hard drive to the other. And then when they come out with the next generation of console, which I didn't even buy, my brother bought it for me because I wouldn't. A lot of the games that I could play on the 360, I can't play on the freaking Xbox One. I mean, it's retarded how none of it connects at all. PC, I can start it up and I can play fucking, Command and Conquer or StarCraft or Knights of the Old Republic or Doom or anything. I can play games that are 25, 30 years old, and it'll run. And if it doesn't, then there's like something that I can freaking load, and now it'll run. But somehow, consoles can't do that. And why? Because they force you to constantly buy new shit all the fucking time just to get more money out of you. It's ridiculous.
Hey, John.
Pardon my rant.
I have to throw this out there. Matt and I are officially in robes and singing.
Right. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I got started, and then I just, it just kept going, and I couldn't. I was unable to shut it off.
Like, I remember when the two of us had this conversation, what was it, 2012?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love my PlayStation. I love playing Resident Evil with the VR headset on because fuck me, is that game terrifying. But PC Master Race, man. Like, again, if you have to have a console in order to game, have the console. I would rather you game. If it is within your means to have a gaming PC, have a gaming PC because so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, it just is. I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago, but now it's 100%.
And it's sad. I have this like super powerful machine here next to me. Not near as powerful as other people's, but it can handle.
I love this thing.
It can handle almost any game that's out there right now. Not max specs, but it can handle any game that's out there, and most of them even in very good specs. What do I use it for?
YouTube.
YouTube and FTL. Like.
Well, dude, what What was it? I was playing a couple days ago. Oh, Sim City.
God, I need to play that again.
Not like the Windows 3.5 one, but like SimCity 3000 or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm playing a game that's like 15 years old. With bullshit graphics. Just like having fun, doing my thing. But you know what? If I want to turn on Doom, I can turn on Doom. If I want to play the new Wolfenstein, I can play the new Wolfenstein. If I want to play Diablo 1, I can play Diablo 1.
It amused me that I realized that the other day. I'm like, I'm mostly using it for D&D and 16-bit gaming. Huh.
Are you having fun?
Oh yeah, that's all that matters.
Okay.
For now, you never know what might pop up in the near future.
If you mean,
Yeah, wait till
ago I was playing Civ 6 a lot, so that was.
Wait till 2020, and we're all John and I are gonna be fighting each other to take a couple of weeks off of work because D4. Excuse me, 2024.
What is it coming out then?
Diablo 4.
Oh yeah.
It was 12 years in between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, so I'm assuming 12 years. 2024.
Yeah, well, how long was it between Diablo 1 and Diablo 2?
Not nearly as long.
Right, but then, like, if it was
It was like
6
14
years and then it went 12 years, then theoretically it could be 24 years.
Hey,
Just
fuck
saying.
you.
Just saying. I don't want you to get your hopes up, man. You got to prepare yourself.
But yeah.
It was 4 years. The first Diablo released in '96. The second Diablo released in 2000. Then Diablo 3 released in 2012. So if we're going to
36 years
assume,
if you go by the.
yeah, if we're going that span, 36 years. So
Hey, by then it will be
2060?
fully VR.
Yeah, because
You
that's-
sit back, you just plug the thing on the side of your head and fully VR Diablo.
I will be 62 years old when it comes out.
And you'll have a heart attack playing it and love it.
Mhm.
And who says you're gonna make it to 62?
Nobody. Like literally nobody.
I hope I can make retirement. I really do. Because it's
Just like 3 weeks.
well, I mean,
3
preferably
weeks
I
of
would get
retirement.
a couple of years, I guess, but that's because like part of what I'm thinking I might actually want to try to put into place and start doing is to get bumped up the list for season tickets at Nebraska football games. Like you can put your name on the list without making any kind of donation or nothing, but like you're going to be at the ass end of it. If you immediately start donating, then you at least get bumped ahead of everybody that's not. And theoretically, then it might be any number of years before I might actually be able to put my name down for season tickets. But I'm thinking about and liking the idea of long term being able to take like Saturdays and or Fridays off from work so that I can road trip and travel with the team on away games, and then have like this massive tent with this big old grill and a massive cooler, and just go tailgate early in the morning and just cook like hundreds of pounds of fucking beef in burgers and just fucking pass the shit out to people as they come up, especially if they're Husker fans, just because.
Saved my ass. Pulled me out of that car, remember? Then died.
Alright. So you guys are wanting to. Anything else anybody had to do in town that day?
Yeah, while I'm at the Mystic Sanctum talking about getting the progression of the guild hall installed at our estate, I would also like to talk to the guild master specifically because even though it was not used during Saxon's trial of his lack of an alibi, would it be possible for me to be able to um, use the same people that were able to verify that in the first place to verify the whereabouts that Saxon has told me that he was earlier in the night before the murder actually took place?
11 years away comes up murder.
It's possible, but unfortunately, just so you know, it is also since he's not under investigation anymore, it wouldn't be covered costs.
How costly?
Only known to let
Anything else you want to do while I'm looking up the price?
I guess technically, depending on the price, because I'm assuming it's going to be rather extravagant, in which case I can't afford it. Then I would probably go to the tavern, bar, and whatever it is in question that Saxon gave me, and inquire to the bartender / owner if that's the setup. Well, okay,
It
no.
was Sailor's
First,
Dive he went to, by the way.
Okay, first I'm gonna have to. God, I gotta find somebody that can. Because I need to draw out a sketch, but I don't particularly think that I'm all that artistic, so I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't have any illusion spells. God, see, I'm the worst possible person to actually try to do this shit. Yeah, absolutely the worst. I'm going to have to just try to draw a basic sketch. Let's just start with that, because depending on how shit that is, there ain't no point doing anything else. So, what would you like from me for drawing out a sketch of the illusion disguise that Saxon showed me while he was out that night?
Let's go with. It's gonna have to be a combo roll. You don't have skill with cartography, do you?
No.
Okay, so it's gonna be an intelligence roll and then a dexterity roll. Intelligence to recall the image, which is gonna be easier DC, and then dexterity to draw it.
Okay. Well, we'll start with the intelligence roll then. And the dexterity roll. Come on, random ass bullshit high roll. Or not. Fuck.
So.
Well, that.
Hold on.
Like, do I at least know that it's complete shit? Like, I'm not stupid. Surely I can tell that it is just an abomination of art.
Can I draw that?
That's probably going to be about where it would be quality-wise.
I can't see it.
Me neither. I got plain white.
No, I was saying if Pink drew it.
oh, well, yeah. I'd probably be able to get just as much out of it. Oh, son of a bitch.
You're like, did this guy come in here?
Have you seen this man?
I am not an artist.
Well, in this particular circumstance, it works out fucking wonderfully. Is there a sketch artist in this town?
So maybe I can like talk him through it.
I feel like there's a really easy way to do this that you would refuse to do.
I don't have spells that would allow me to. No, ask me to come with you, dumbass. Well, why would I do that though?
Because it makes sense.
I feel like it doesn't.
Yeah, there's a guy, usually 20, 25 gold. He's willing to do that.
Oh god, this is gonna be an expensive flop. All right, 25 gold. But
25 gold and about 3 hours later.
But do I need to roll from the description that I give?
No, you have the description perfectly fine. And you'll get a very good image that looks very similar.
Oh man, this is expensive for not probably going to get anywhere. Okay, well with that image in hand, because if we left in the morning, then it might be like what, noon ish.
Yep.
Then
there's 900 gold a cast.
Well, maybe not right now. I don't know. There's probably not a whole lot of point to it. I mean, there kind of is, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I will take that sketch to the sailor's dive. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, and speak to the bartender, and put it down on the put the paper down on the bar with a silver, and ask him if he remembers seeing this man. How long's it been? 2 weeks ago?
They were retired.
First off, that's a much better drawing. Second, it actually is a dwarf. That's a much better drawing there. But let me think if I've seen him.
If you don't mind, with your permission, I could cast a spell called Guidance onto you. It would assist you in being able to recall.
Go ahead, do that. Just roll it.
Okay. And if I may bring it up also, the boon that I got from Zerat's mother, if I help somebody in their ability check for like history, well, I'm not entirely sure if it applies. When you take the help action to aid another creature's ability check, you can make a DC 15 intelligence history check. On a success, that creature's check gains a bonus equal to your proficiency bonus as you share pertinent advice and historical examples. To receive. Okay.
Roll your check.
If he went undercover, then he the guy grabbed
Ah!
Oh, that's sad. That would have been a
Again?
nice bonus to give to him.
I just needed an 8. And I got a 2.
See, this is the point that you wish you had defeat Lucky.
Oh, to re-roll it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll roll out of his ass.
Yeah, I do recall. I do remember him coming in, yes. Yeah. You see, I remember it was a little bit later in the night, shortly after midnight, I think. When he came in. Spent the rest of the night here drinking.
Do you happen?
Roughly. I don't remember the exact time. It was a few weeks ago when it's the only time he's ever been in. But I believe that's about right.
By any chance, did you see what direction he approached your tavern from?
The only thing is left to give him the money.
I don't even know where it is.
Remember, the tavern has one window, and he cannot see it from where he's at. So
Right.
they've minimized windows because otherwise people are going to get through them anyway. So
All right, yeah. So
it's one window, and it's like this big, and it's round. So a mug can go through it, but a person can.
Physical evidence from the trigger case.
in this part of town, in this area, is there are there any like neighboring businesses or people's homes that you know of that are still open or awake at that time of day, at that time of night?
So most of some of the dock workers and whatnot down there, they are going to be awake. It's going to be very, very unlikely. They are working hard the next day, so very, very unlikely.
Do you happen to remember anybody that left shortly before he came in?